Hi, this is Hadas Thier with Marxism in a Minute. We spoke a few weeks ago about the labor theory of value, how it is that the amount of labor time that goes into producing a good determines its value relative to other goods. A car is a lot more valuable than a loaf of bread because it takes a lot more time to manufacture it. Now, people have asked about supply and demand, issues of scarcity. Is that the determinant of value? And the first point to go back to is that price and value is not exactly the same thing. The labor theory of value was never meant to be a price index. It's a broader argument that value is socially determined. So you can see how changes in productivity over time lead to changes in the value of commodities. And you can see how the rush to reduce labor time acts as a disciplining force on capitalists. That is, you can't produce cars using old technologies that cost more to produce and therefore will cost more to sell. But supply and demand do create short-term fluctuations in prices. So if there's a glut of goods, companies will race to get rid of those goods, even if it means reducing their prices. Much like oil recently, there was a huge glut. There wasn't even enough places to store the oil, and this led oil companies to sell it on the cheap. On the flip side, if there are shortages of goods and a high demand for them, then companies can get away with jacking up prices. And you can see how the vaccines, for instance, the pharmaceutical industry creates false scarcity through patent laws. If you're the only company that can produce a given vaccine, then you can raise the prices as far as you can get away with. But at no point do these price fluctuations mean that car companies would be willing to sell their cars more cheaply than bread. Changes in supply and demand create short-term fluctuations, sometimes wild fluctuations, but the heart of value still lies in the labor time needed to produce them. Leave your questions and comments below. We'll see you next week.